Dear Chosen One, stop scrolling. Right here, right now, you've stumbled into something that isn't random. It's not a coincidence. This is a divine setup, orchestrated by God Himself, and your spirit knows it. What you're about to hear isn't just another message, it's an activation. Heaven is not playing games tonight. God is about to inject something supernatural into your being. Power you didn't ask for, favor you didn't see coming, and purpose you thought you had missed. This isn't theory. This is spiritual transmission. If you feel something stirring already, it's because your soul recognizes the frequency. You are not just listening, you are being summoned. Before we go further, let me pause and say this from my heart. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this ministry through Super Thanks. Your giving, whether big, small, or simply your presence, is a seed into something eternal. And whether you choose to give or not, I honor you. Your presence here is powerful, your engagement is felt, and your hunger for truth is why this space exists. So thank you sincerely for walking with me in this journey. Now, if your spirit is already vibrating, do one more thing. Drop 777 in the comments, because 777 is the number of divine completion and heavenly perfection. It means something sacred is about to be sealed over your life. So if you believe this word is for you, make that declaration public. Mark your faith, type 777 and lock in. Chosen One, God isn't just going to change your mood tonight, He's going to shift your frequency. This is not about feeling inspired for an hour and returning to spiritual survival tomorrow. This is the kind of shift that rebuilds you from the inside out. I'm talking about radical acceleration, divine downloads, supernatural alignment, and unstoppable favor. If you're hearing this right now, it's because God handpicked this moment in your timeline. Heaven has cleared space, and your name, it's been whispered in the courts of eternity. Your life is about to split into two halves, before tonight and after tonight. There is no going back after this. But hear this clearly, this is not passive. You must be spiritually alert. You must engage, because what God is about to pour into you will not fall on casual hearts. It will fall on the focused, on the prepared, on the chosen. He is releasing weight, glory, clarity, and divine purpose. And if you're not locked in, you might miss what has your name written on it. Let me be even clearer. Tonight is not inspirational. It's instructional. It's invasive. It's irrevocable. God is coming for the version of you that's been dormant for too long. He's about to inject purpose directly into your bones. You've prayed, you've fasted, you've cried, you've wondered if heaven was silent. But all this time, heaven was stacking the miracle, preparing this precise hour for your activation. So no, this shift won't be soft. It won't be subtle. It's going to be electric, cosmic, scripted in frequencies that your logic cannot understand, but your soul already recognizes. It's encoded into your destiny. The delays weren't punishment, they were preparation. The pain, the rejection, the nights you were crushed and still woke up with hope, they were heaven's fingerprints pressing you into position. You were not created just to cope with life. You were born to command it. And tonight, the power to do just that is being delivered into your spirit, like lightning from heaven. This is not metaphor. This is spiritual science. God is shifting your inner code, recalibrating you at the frequency of purpose. What you're feeling isn't hype, it's holy. So stay with me until the end, because the shift has already begun. And you're not just a witness to it, you're the reason for it. God's chosen ones, God is about to do the greatest thing ever with you tonight. Get ready. God's chosen one. What you're feeling right now is not your imagination, it is divine reality moving through your soul. God's energy is not symbolic, it is alive, it hums through creation, it vibrates through frequencies, restructures atmospheres, and tonight it is being directly infused into every fiber of your being. Can you feel that low, holy pressure building in the background of your thoughts? That buzzing under your skin? That isn't stress. That's God's Spirit preparing you for a supernatural realignment. Tonight isn't just about blessings falling upon you. It's about the interior blueprint of who you are being rewritten by the hand of God Himself. This is divine intervention, not just for comfort, but for complete reconstruction. The parts of you that were fragmented by heartbreak, confusion, betrayal, and bloodline burdens are now being gathered and rewoven with divine precision. God is doing surgery on your soul, silently, supernaturally, and with sacred authority. Have you ever wondered why your pain felt deeper than others? Why your wounds seemed layered with ancestral weight? It's because you weren't just carrying your own battles, you've been carrying what your lineage could not defeat. But tonight, that ends. God is reaching down to your very DNA, to the generational traumas embedded in your body, and cleansing the code. He is not editing you like a flaw to be fixed. He is restoring you to the unshaken truth of who He created you to be. The version of you that existed in heaven's vision before the world contaminated your atmosphere is rising again. This isn't just a healing, it's a resurrection of design. What if everything you've been through was preparation for a single night like this? Consider this: when Moses encountered the burning bush, it wasn't in a temple or under perfect conditions. It was on a regular mountain during an ordinary day, but God turned it into a holy moment. Likewise, your surroundings may feel normal, but the spiritual atmosphere tonight is anything but. You are standing on sacred ground in your living room, your bedroom, your car. Wherever you are receiving this, your spirit knows this is real, even if your mind is still catching up. Just as God chose Esther for such a time as this, Esther 4:14, He's choosing you right now for something monumental. The Bible says in Romans 12:2, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That's not a metaphor tonight, it's a literal transformation. Your mind is being renewed, not slowly, not over years, but radically in real time. Every lie you've believed, every false identity spoken over you, every limiting thought is being challenged by heaven's truth. You're being elevated from victimhood into visionary identity, from blurred chaos into razor-sharp spiritual clarity, from scattered fragments into supernatural wholeness. Will you allow yourself to let go of the need to understand and simply let God work? Let me tell you about a man named Malcolm X. Before the world knew his name, he was in prison, confused, angry, searching. But in isolation, something began to shift. He surrendered to a higher calling. He read, he prayed, he allowed divine transformation to reshape his purpose. And when he emerged, he was no longer just a man, he was a message. Just like Malcolm, your isolation has been your activation. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. The stillness is sacred, the discomfort is divine. As Isaiah 43:19 declares, "Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth, do you not perceive it?" This isn't a small shift, it's a dimensional one. And in order to perceive it, you must be willing to release the past. You must allow yourself to be redefined, not by what happened to you, but by what heaven is now declaring over you. Your tears have not been in vain. Every breakdown was a gateway. Every heartbreak was a divine classroom. Every delay was a hidden strategy. Now it's all coming together. Do you recognize it? Remember Nelson Mandela? Locked away for 27 years, forgotten by much of the world, yet when he emerged, he didn't come out bitter, he came out ready. Why? Because he allowed isolation to refine his spirit. His silence became his strength. Likewise, for the next 3 nights, you will be undergoing a transformation so holy it cannot be fully explained, only experienced. Don't panic if your emotions swing wildly. Don't question the sudden dreams or the urge to cry for no reason. That's your human self reacting to what your spirit already knows. The upgrade has begun. God's word promises in Psalm 138:1, "The Lord will fulfill His purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever." This fulfillment is not abstract, it's personal. He's fulfilling His purpose through you. Not someday, but starting tonight. You're not just being helped, you're being activated. Every part of your mind, heart, and energy system is aligning to divine architecture. Can you see how your old story is losing power over you? Think about Oprah Winfrey. Rejected, abused, told she'd never make it, but she stayed aligned to her inner voice, her calling, her creator. And when the divine moment came, the world had no choice but to notice what God had already chosen. You too are about to step into a season where people will be shocked by the glow you carry, not because you changed who you are, but because you returned to who you were always meant to be. As 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "If anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, The new is here. This isn't poetic, this is prophetic. You are stepping out of old programs, old emotional circuits, and old labels. You are no longer operating under survival codes. You are moving in spiritual clarity and heavenly DNA. So tonight, don't just hope for a miracle, expect it. Let the light in. Get still. Get ready. You're not waiting for transformation anymore. You are in the middle of it. And by the time the sun rises, you'll know God just did the greatest thing ever with you. God's chosen one. What you are entering is not an emotional phase or a passing moment. It is a holy metamorphosis marked by divine timing. Night one has already begun its quiet work in you. You may not fully understand it yet, but the subtle shifts are proof. A flicker in your chest, strange dreams that feel more like messages than fantasies, old memories resurfacing like coded signals. This is no accident. You might even feel sudden physical discomfort, as if your body itself is being stretched. That's not illness, that's divine tension. The Spirit of God is gently shaking loose the things that no longer belong in your energy. Can you sense that you're being stirred awake from the inside out? By night two, the battle will likely intensify, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something sacred. Light always disturbs darkness before it dissolves it. Have you noticed that when God starts pulling you into alignment, the chaos around you tries to pull you back? This is not emotional instability, it is spiritual resistance. But you were born for this level of refinement. When your spirit starts glowing, shadows naturally react. Will you trust God, even when it feels like you're walking through fire? Just remember the promise in 1 Peter 5:10, and the God of all grace will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. That's not poetic. That's your reality being shaped right now. By night three, something unexplainable will ignite in your spirit. It may feel like fire in your bones, like a power rising that you forgot you carried. Don't resist it. This isn't about control, it's about surrender. God is not merely touching you, he is remodeling you from the foundation up. These 72 hours are not random, they are divine appointments coded into the very fabric of your destiny. What if this moment is what your entire journey has been building toward? Shouldn't you take it seriously? Fast if you're led to. Speak life out loud. Your words hold power. Guard your energy like sacred currency. Disconnect from the noise. These are not ordinary nights. They are the nights where history quietly pivots in your favor. Think of Joan of Arc, an untrained village girl who heard divine whispers others called madness. But in obedience she changed the future of a nation. Do you think her power came from earthly knowledge? No. It came from divine identity awakened, and tonight the same thing is happening to you. That pulse you feel in your chest, that quiet thrill behind your ribs, that alertness in your mind even while the world sleeps, it's not adrenaline, it's activation. You're not being inspired, you're being summoned. God is awakening your dormant fire and aligning you with a version of yourself the world has never met. Remember what Jeremiah 29 said, "His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot." That is what's happening to you. The fire is building. The truth is stirring. The old self cannot contain the weight of your true identity. God isn't calling you to tweak yourself. He's calling you to release who you've always been under the layers of survival and silence. Haven't you always felt you were meant for more? Haven't you questioned why you never fit into the molds that others accepted so easily? Take the story of Tyler Perry. Before he built a billion-dollar empire, he spent nights sleeping in his car, wrestling with doubt, ridicule, and obscurity. But he didn't give up. He listened to the voice inside that told him he was more than his surroundings. Now the world recognizes what God knew all along. What about you? What has been whispering to you, begging you not to give up, promising you that this isn't the end? That whisper, it's about to roar. Tonight, that whisper becomes your reality. You will no longer hope for purpose. You will walk in it. You won't need external validation. You will embody divine assignment. Romans 8:19 says, "For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." That includes you, not revealed to the world first, but revealed to yourself. Because until you see yourself clearly, you can't carry what heaven has placed in you. The veil is lifting now. Your higher self, The eternal you, the version of you that heaven sees, is beginning to shine through. Your thoughts will stretch, your dreams will sharpen, and your fears will melt like mist in morning light. Are you ready for that? Think of Maya Angelou. Silenced by trauma as a child, she once stopped speaking entirely, but when she found her voice again, she didn't just speak, she transformed the world with it. That's what happens when your identity finally aligns with God's design. You don't just heal, you ignite. And tonight, that ignition is happening in you. This is not the world's version of change. This is soul emergence. You are not improving, you are becoming. The veil between who you are and who you were always meant to be is tearing. This isn't reinvention, it's revelation. You're not starting from scratch. You're remembering what your soul never forgot, that you were created with purpose, that you are divine by origin, that you carry something sacred the world doesn't understand but can't ignore. And now that it's awakening, things around you may shift, people may pull away, but let that be confirmation. The vibration of your elevation won't feel comfortable to those stuck in low frequencies. The final question is this: will you accept the fire rising inside you, or will you try to dim it to make others comfortable? Because this fire was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to burn down every lie that told you to play small. Isaiah 61 says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." That is not just encouragement, it is a command. And tonight you are obeying it simply by showing up. Chosen one, what once terrified you will now seem trivial, not because the world has changed, but because you have. Fear used to grip you because your soul hadn't yet stepped into full alignment. But now you're syncing with the divine rhythm of your Creator, and when the soul aligns with heaven, everything else that once felt overpowering begins to lose its hold. Can you feel it? That quiet confidence humming beneath your skin, that inner knowing that you're not weak, not broken, and certainly not behind. You are exactly where God needs you to be. You didn't miss your calling, you were forged by fire for it. You are arriving on time, cloaked in grace and pulsing with power. The rise of your divine self is not just personal, it's prophetic. The world is about to witness something it has never seen before. You, fully awakened, unapologetically divine, and walking in undeniable authority as one of God's chosen. Something deeper than logic, deeper than flesh, is waking up inside of you. It's your energy body, the sacred bridge between your spirit and the heavenly realm. This isn't fantasy, it's the physics of the soul. You are spirit first, housed in flesh second, and that spirit is now rising. Every cell in your body is beginning to vibrate at a higher frequency, because God has touched the unseen parts of you. You're becoming ultra-sensitive to people, words, spaces and motives. Not because you're fragile, but because you're becoming spiritually refined. Have you noticed it? The way certain environments now drain you instantly. The way some people's presence feels either healing or heavy without them saying a word. That's discernment awakening. That's the frequency of God recalibrating your senses. Just as Hebrews 4:12 says, "The word of God is alive and active. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart." That same energy is now active in you, helping you see with divine eyes and feel with heaven's wisdom. Let me give you an example. Jim Carrey, one of the most successful comedic actors in the world, once confessed that at the height of fame, he felt deeply disconnected. He said, "I think everybody should get rich and famous, so they can see that it's not the answer." What was he describing? A spiritual void, a soul out of alignment. But as he matured, Carrey began speaking publicly about consciousness, frequency, and finding purpose beyond ego. That's exactly what you're stepping into now, not surface success, but spiritual significance. The emptiness you once felt was not punishment, it was space being cleared for purpose. And yes, you've felt disconnected lately. Not because you're lost, but because the version of you that operated on fear, guilt, people-pleasing and survival instincts is being stripped away. That identity was never meant to carry the divine mantle you're stepping into. Can you mourn something and still celebrate its departure? That's where you are. You're saying goodbye to patterns and personas that no longer serve your elevation. You are too aligned now to stay entangled in old wounds. Your new form runs on something holier than fear. It runs on flow, spiritual instinct and divine assignment. 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us, For God gave us a spirit not of fear but of power and love and self-control. That's not theory anymore, that's your new nature. Let's talk about someone like Serena Williams. Her power on the court wasn't just about physical training. It was her energy, her confidence, her presence, her ability to walk into an arena and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. That's the kind of spiritual weight you're starting to carry. When your energy body rises, manifestation becomes magnetic. You'll notice people respond to your silence more than your speech. You'll feel intentions long before words are spoken. You'll walk into rooms, and without effort, things will shift. Don't second guess it. Don't shrink. You're not being arrogant. You're being anointed. This is what divine emergence looks like. God has been quietly preparing you to become an energetic portal of transformation. And when you walk in that truth, even the laws of the universe begin to bend in your favor. This transformation isn't happening on your schedule. It's unfolding on divine timing. God doesn't operate by human clocks. He moves according to eternal alignment. This moment, this night, this exact sequence of awareness, it's not random. It was written into the architecture of your destiny before you were ever born. Can you believe that? That this experience was foreseen by heaven? That God waited until now not to delay you but to prepare you? Just like Ecclesiastes 3:1 teaches, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And this is your time. Think of Stephen King. Before he became the master of modern horror, he was living in a trailer, struggling to feed his family and throwing away the manuscript that would become Carrie. His wife dug it out of the trash, and the rest is history. Sometimes, even when you don't see your own brilliance, destiny steps in and says, "Not yet, keep going." That's what God did for you. He let some things fall away so the right things could finally rise. He allowed delays to sharpen your hearing. He removed distractions, revealed fake friends, and got you desperate enough to finally become still. That desperation wasn't weakness. It was the divine signal that said, "They're ready." You weren't being denied, chosen one. You were being refined. That pain wasn't a punishment. It was the pressure point that unlocked your power. That confusion wasn't abandonment. It was God teaching you to trust when you had nothing left to hold on to but His whisper. And now that you're still, now that you're listening, now that you're aligned, heaven is releasing what was always yours. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That hand is lifting you now, not out of pity, but with purpose. Now everything has aligned. Chosen one. The atmosphere around you, the vibration within you, and the silence of the spirit realm have all converged into this one divine moment. The stage is set. The frequency is finally right. Your soul has opened, like a sacred gate, unlocking in perfect rhythm with heaven's timing. What God is pouring over you tonight could not have been released at any earlier stage of your life, not because you weren't worthy, but because you weren't yet ready. This is not random. This is sacred timing. You didn't miss your chance. You are the chance. You are right on schedule for overflow. So if tonight feels heavy, if tears come for no apparent reason, if your chest tightens or your body feels unusually fatigued, don't misread it. It's not an attack. It's a spiritual release. Have you ever wondered why, just when you're about to level up, everything feels like it's falling apart? That's because God is snapping invisible chains, the kind you didn't even know were keeping you bound. Chains of inherited trauma, chains of generational guilt, chains of inner shame and false identities. You've carried burdens that were never yours to carry. You inherited emotional weight that your spirit was never designed to hold. But tonight, that ends. God is severing soul ties that have lingered in your energy field for too long. What if the anxiety you've been fighting wasn't yours, but something ancestral, something embedded? And what if this restlessness is not your breakdown, but your breakthrough in disguise? As John 8:36 declares, "So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." That's not just spiritual poetry, it's your present reality. Freedom is not always silent. Sometimes it comes through pressure, trembling, weeping, and divine discomfort. When light floods into a dark room, the darkness doesn't slip away quietly, it resists. That's what's happening in your body and spirit. Karmic loops are breaking, old soul contracts are being voided, spiritual parasites are being expelled. You may feel it physically, in your stomach, your chest, your nervous system. That's not random. That's energy being evicted from its false residence inside you. Let it happen. Do not fear it. You are not falling apart. You are being peeled back. Return to your essence. Consider Prince Harry. He stepped away from royal titles, faced public backlash, and endured spiritual exile just to reclaim his peace. That's what inner awakening costs. He gave up the illusion of safety to embrace his truth, and in doing so, he became more free, more authentic, more aligned. What are you being asked to release right now? Who are you being asked to walk away from, not out of bitterness, but out of divine necessity? This is what the Bible speaks of in Isaiah 61. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners. You are not only being healed, you are being liberated. But liberation is messy. Don't be surprised if certain people stop calling, if old friendships start to fade, if the food you loved suddenly tastes wrong, if the spaces you used to thrive in now feel energetically cold. These are not coincidences. These are your energetic frequencies realigning. You are purging, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. When you emerge, you'll be so light, so clear, so radiant, that even your shadow will testify that something has changed. That discomfort you're experiencing, that racing heart at midnight, that gnawing sense that something inside you is pushing, pressing, begging to come out, that's not dysfunction, it's divine labor. You are in spiritual childbirth. Just as a mother contracts in pain to bring new life into the world, your soul is contracting to birth your next level. Have you noticed how some nights the silence feels almost too loud? That's not loneliness. That's the voice of God returning to frequencies your spirit can now hear. Don't numb this moment. Don't silence your spirit with noise. You are in the final stages of emergence. Breathe through it. Cry if you must. Speak to God in your rawness. He hears every stutter, every whisper, every sob like a symphony of surrender. Remember the story of Mary Magdalene. Once labeled and dismissed by society, she became the first to witness the risen Christ. Why? Because those who've endured the deepest shame often carry the highest spiritual clarity. God isn't ashamed of your journey. He's glorifying it. You were never disqualified. You were being set apart. The pain didn't disprove your anointing. It revealed it. As 2 Corinthians 4:17 says, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." What you're feeling right now is not destruction. It's weight redistribution. God is removing what doesn't serve your next season and replacing it with heavenly substance. And it's heavy, not because it's punishment, but because glory carries weight, and you, chosen one, are being clothed in it. Look at someone like Keanu Reeves. Quiet, misunderstood, shaped by loss, but still radiating peace, compassion, and presence in every room he enters. That's someone who's gone through the fire and didn't come out empty. That's what you're stepping into. This transformation will not make you loud, it will make you deep. It will not make you proud, it will make you powerful in silence. Your aura will speak louder than your words, your stillness will become strategy. So tonight, let the tears fall, let the shaking come, let your mind question and your spirit respond. These aren't symptoms of brokenness, these are the birth pangs of your divine emergence. Don't run, don't numb, stay in it, stay present. Because by the time this release is over, you won't just be healed, you'll be holy, not in appearance, but in energy, in clarity, in truth. This is your spiritual activation, and if you remain in the process, if you surrender fully, then you will not just walk out of this as a new person. You will walk out as who you've always been before the world tried to bury your light, holy, whole, and finally, free. After tonight, chosen one, you won't just feel different, you will be different. Your thoughts will begin to stretch beyond what you once believed was possible. The mental fog that kept you doubting, replaying, or explaining yourself will vanish. You'll feel the urge to protect your time, your peace, and most of all, your energy. Why? Because you're now hosting something divine. You're glowing from within. Your vibration has risen, and not everyone will know how to handle the upgraded you. Some people were attached to the version of you that didn't know their worth, the quiet, dimmed down, over-giving, constantly apologizing version. But that version no longer exists. So don't feel guilty for setting boundaries. Don't feel the need to explain your evolution. You're not becoming arrogant, you're becoming aligned. You're selective now because what God is doing in you requires holy protection. Just as Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your energy is now sacred ground, and not everyone deserves access. God is building something in you that can't be mixed with chaos. Do you feel that? That intolerance rising in you toward drama, noise, or energy vampires? That's not attitude, that's anointing. Your soul has become aware of what drains you, and your spirit is no longer tolerating anything misaligned. You're becoming a sanctuary, a walking temple, and that demands a new standard. So let them fall away, the ones who only knew the wounded you, the ones who misused your silence, the ones who expected you to stay small. You owe no explanations. Those who are meant for this next level will rise with you, and those who aren't, they'll disappear, and that too is divine protection. This transformation also reaches your physical body. What you consume now matters deeply. You're not just eating for strength, you're eating for spiritual precision. Your body is a vessel for God's energy, and it's currently hosting a supernatural visitation. Have you considered that your cravings might be shifting because your frequency is changing? Water now becomes sacred hydration. Raw foods, living fruits, plant-based meals, these aren't just nutrition, they are fuel for the spirit. Your gut is your second brain, and when it's clogged, your discernment is dulled. So clean it, honor it. If you're led to fast, even briefly, follow that divine prompting. Fasting is not about religious ritual, it's about making room. You're not starving yourself, you're making space for downloads. Daniel 1:12 gives a model for this, when Daniel said, "Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink." And what happened? They were found healthier, stronger, clearer. The same can happen with you. This is alignment, not legalism. Listen to your body. Ask your Creator, what nourishes my highest self? And as you align your body, your spirit will become a clearer receiver for revelation. You may also be noticing new sensitivities. Are your dreams becoming vivid, almost prophetic? Are you sensing people's feelings before they speak? Are you hearing whispers of intuition that turn out to be right? That's not your imagination, it's activation. God is unlocking your spiritual gifts because your frequency has reached the threshold to carry them. You have gifts of discernment, healing, insight, and prophetic clarity woven into your spiritual code. They've always been there, but they were dormant, waiting for the right moment. This is that moment. Just like 1 Corinthians 12:7 says, "Now to each one the manifestation of the Spirit is given for the common good." Your gifts aren't random, they're assignments, and God trusts you to use them for divine good. So journal your dreams, speak the insights, don't dismiss what you feel, honor it. Your voice may become heavier with authority, your hands may radiate warmth. You may speak and suddenly see healing in someone's eyes. That's not coincidence, that's God operating through you. If it feels overwhelming, breathe, ask for guidance. Heaven doesn't just give gifts, it offers mentorship. The Holy Spirit is your teacher. You are not alone in this. Look at someone like Nikola Tesla. Though often misunderstood, he accessed insights, visions, and frequencies that others couldn't comprehend. He knew the world wasn't just physical, it was energetic, and through that awareness, he changed the fabric of modern technology. You too carry something that can shift atmospheres. The world may not always understand you, but that doesn't make your gift any less divine. You weren't chosen to be understood, you were chosen to be effective. And now, don't be surprised if people begin to treat you differently. Some will be drawn to you like a flame, curious, comforted, captivated. Others will suddenly withdraw, avoiding you, perhaps without understanding why. That's the frequency shift. You're no longer broadcasting fear, guilt, or lack. You're transmitting divine alignment, and not everyone can handle that vibration. Your aura enters a room before you speak now. You're no longer invisible. The energy you carry is a spiritual signal, strong, radiant, and holy. Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." That's you. Your light now reveals things in others, and some people won't like what it shows. That's okay. That's part of your mission. You're not responsible for how others react. You're only responsible for staying aligned with your assignment. Let the separations happen. Let the connections flow. This is divine chemistry in motion. It's not personal, it's positional. You're being repositioned for purpose, and anything that cannot move with you will naturally fall away. Think of Frida Kahlo. Her pain shaped her, but it was her unapologetic expression of truth and identity that made her immortal. She never shrank to fit expectations. She lived and created from alignment, and the world eventually adjusted to her light. The same will happen for you. Your only task is to remain true to the vibration God placed in your bones. What belongs will rise to meet you. What doesn't will slip into the background. And that's how it should be. Chosen one, your manifestation power is about to erupt like divine lightning through your spirit. Why? Because for the first time in your life, your energy, your mind, and your soul have come into agreement with your purpose. This is what it feels like when alignment meets destiny. You're no longer begging heaven to hear you. You are heaven's echo in the earth. When your vibration rises to match the frequency of your calling, manifestation stops being a struggle and becomes a magnet. Your prayers don't just rise, they return with results. Your thoughts start becoming things. Your intentions begin pulling miracles like gravity. But hear this, it's not because you're simply thinking positively, it's because you're energetically clean. God has spent these nights purging the resistance from your soul. Do you feel lighter? That's the heaviness of unworthiness and sabotage dissolving. That's the subconscious noise finally quieting. Now nothing stands between your words and their reality. And you don't have to chase what's yours anymore. You will attract it, not through striving, but through resonance. That job, that healing, that divine relationship, that breakthrough, they're not distant. They're orbiting, waiting for you to rise into the version of yourself that can receive them. So pause, breathe, look in the mirror, chosen one. Do you sense it? That subtle fire in your chest, that sacred presence in your eyes, that is you, the version God has always envisioned. Not the wounded, guilt-ridden, doubtful version, but the one who walks in wisdom, speaks with weight, and moves with reverence. This is you, not rebelling against the past, but resurrected from it. You cried for this transformation. You shed old layers to make room for this identity. And now you've arrived, not perfect, but purified. Don't explain it. Don't look back. Don't dim it. You didn't glow up. You woke up. This isn't cosmetic. It's cosmic. You are no longer becoming. You are. You are the living proof that God still performs miracles, and this time, the miracle is walking in your skin. Heaven has issued a final verdict over your life, and the ruling is divine favor. What you once thought was delay was actually divine timing being perfected. What you called silence was God building. What you saw as failure was foundation. Now the green light has come from above, and the angels are already on assignment. As Psalm 90:17 declares, "May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us, establish the work of our hands." This favor isn't shallow, it's structural. It's shifting your timeline. The chapter you're walking into will look nothing like the one you left behind. You're not stuck in loops, you're ascending from them. The trials didn't destroy you, they delivered you. And the version of you that tolerated half blessings and questioned their worth, that version is gone. What remains is someone anointed, aligned, and finally ready to reign. Worried about how it'll all happen? You're not responsible for making the divine plan work. You're responsible for walking in it. Heaven has already arranged the details. When God authorizes your next level, even your enemies become transport vehicles. Closed doors become redirections. Delays become divine strategy. As Romans 8:31 says, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" This isn't just elevation, this is divine orchestration. The resources are coming, the help is coming, even the resistance is working in your favor. Stand tall, square your shoulders. You've got spiritual backing now. You're not alone, you are supported by unseen realms that bow to God's voice. And when heaven speaks, earth obeys. It might feel like everything around you is crumbling, but listen closely, that's not destruction, that's divine demolition. God never tears down what you need, He only removes what you've outgrown. What feels like a breakdown is actually a sacred unveiling. The pain, though real, is unlocking a purpose so massive your old self couldn't have carried it. John 15:2 reminds us, "Every branch that bears fruit, He prunes that it may bear more fruit. This isn't punishment, it's preparation for overflow. Your soul is rejecting the lies, illusions, and generational patterns it once accepted. That internal chaos, that emotional swirl, that's your spirit shedding weight. Don't curse it, don't rush it. You're in the chrysalis. You're not being crushed, you're being crafted. Take a look at someone like Viola Davis. Her beginnings were marked by poverty, trauma, and rejection. But through surrender and inner work, she emerged as a force of truth, grace, and power. She didn't let the pain define her. She allowed it to refine her. And so are you. You're not unraveling. You're being reborn. And when the dust settles, you won't just rise, you'll reign. The world may see ashes, but heaven sees oil, anointing oil pressed from the pressure, ready to be poured. So stay with it. Don't mislabel this holy process. This is not the end. This is the middle of the miracle. Keep breathing. Keep trusting. One day soon you'll look back at this storm and thank God it all fell apart, because what you're becoming couldn't exist in what you used to be. This battle didn't come to defeat you. It came to define you. The resistance you're facing is not proof that you're off track. It's proof that you're dangerous to the enemy. Chosen one, mountains don't move for the weak. They move for the anointed. That pressure you're under, that's not failure. That's your spiritual gym. Every test is toning your discernment. Every trial is shaping your clarity. Every tear you've cried is watering your harvest. You don't need to know every reason right now, but you do need to remember who you are. God did not bring you this far to leave you mid-battle. So stop asking, why me? And start declaring, watch me. Watch me rise through the rubble. Watch me heal what once destroyed me. Watch me glow in silence while others wait for me to fall. Watch me thrive where I was expected to give up. You are not weak. You are forged. You are not forgotten. You are favored. This pain, it's your promotion. This pressure, it's your passport. And this battle, it's about to unveil the you that heaven has been preparing all along. As Isaiah 54:17 assures, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. That is your inheritance. You are stepping into a reality where what once tried to crush you will become proof of your crown. So rise, chosen one. The world is about to see a miracle that walks, breathes, and speaks power, and that miracle is you. Lately, chosen one, everything might feel strangely still, almost uncomfortably quiet. You've been praying, seeking, and stretching toward heaven, yet it seems like you're met with silence. But don't misinterpret that silence as absence. This stillness is not a void, it is sacred. God isn't ignoring you, He's drawing you inward, deeper than surface-level understanding. In this silence, He is not speaking to your ears, but to your intuition, your gut, your spiritual knowing. Have you felt that subtle tug in your chest? That whisper that doesn't use words? That's divine instruction. Stillness is often the setup before the shift. Right before the earth moves under your feet, God calms the atmosphere so your soul can hear the whisper that changes everything. Your mind craves movement, results, and confirmation, but your spirit, it craves alignment, and alignment always precedes acceleration. In these quiet moments, downloads are happening. Sudden ideas that feel out of nowhere, dreams that linger like clues, moments of peace that make no sense in the middle of chaos. That's not your imagination, it's holy transmission. As Job 33:14-15 says, "For God does speak, now one way, now another, though no one perceives it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people, this is divine education, and silence is your classroom." He's teaching you to trust what you feel when you hear nothing. You're not being forgotten, you're being tuned in. Remember someone like Nelson Mandela. During his years of imprisonment, the world went quiet around him. No titles, no audiences, no rewards, just silence. But in that silence he heard vision, he sharpened conviction, he aligned with purpose. When he emerged, he wasn't louder, he was stronger. You too are in a sacred waiting room, and what comes after this stillness will be loud, public, and undeniable. But the future's roar is born in today's whispers. So let the quiet cleanse you. Let it strip away noise, rush, distraction. Let it purify your motives and sharpen your hearing. Because that fog, that restlessness, that late-night anxiety, it's not dysfunction. It's divine deconstruction. You are not falling apart, you are being rewired. The old framework that once held your fears is being disassembled so that new thought patterns, new truths, and new possibilities can be built in its place. And yes, it feels strange. The mind clings to what's familiar, even if what's familiar was toxic. That's why healing often feels like chaos. But don't resist it. Trust the process. As Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's happening now, not through force but through surrender. God isn't just changing how you feel, He's changing how you think. And when your thoughts evolve, your reality follows. Old beliefs are crumbling. Words that once felt comforting now feel limiting. You no longer resonate with small thinking, self-doubt, or survival mode. That's not confusion, it's clarity shaking off the chains. You're stepping out of mental prisons you didn't even know you were in. Speak life over yourself. Surround yourself with truth. Drench your environment in worship and wisdom. Soon this instability will settle, and in its place you'll find a level of clarity, power, and peace you've never known. Think of Oprah Winfrey. She once lived with labels, poverty, abuse, rejection. But she didn't stay there. She outgrew the noise, rewrote her inner narrative, and aligned her mind with her mission. Now the world hears her voice because she first learned to listen to her soul. And you're doing the same. You've seen glimpses of your higher self in dreams, in visions, in those quiet moments of reflection. Even if your outer life hasn't caught up yet, the inner world is already blazing with revelation. Revelation always comes before reflection. But make no mistake, the day is coming when what you carry on the inside will become impossible to hide. The world will see what heaven has always known. Your journaled prayers, your tough decisions, your tears in the middle of the night, all of it has built momentum. Your inner alignment is putting pressure on the external world. It has no choice but to catch up. And when it does, people won't just be surprised, they'll be convicted. They won't recognize you, but they'll have no choice but to respect the light you've become. This is your glow-up, chosen one, but not the superficial kind. This is soul radiance. This is spiritual command. You'll walk into rooms and carry presence, not from pride but from purpose. You'll no longer shrink for comfort. You'll stand for calling. As Isaiah 61 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." You're not just reflecting light anymore, you are emanating it. And you don't have to fake confidence because you've earned wholeness. You finally believe what heaven has always said about you. So when your outer life starts to reflect your inner evolution, don't apologize, don't explain. You birthed this version of you through fire, and now it's time to wear it. You are not merely flesh and bone, you are spirit in motion, a divine frequency encased in human form. That's why life tried so hard to shut you down. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't dangerous. And you've been forged in silence, tested in darkness, and risen anyway. Nothing around you could break what God encoded within you. You're not the trauma, you're not the failures, you're not the labels they tried to stick on your soul. You are wisdom wrapped in light. You are fire wrapped in grace. And now that you're awakening to your truth, you are unstoppable. Think of Maya Angelou. She was silenced for years, but when her voice returned, it became a sword of truth that cut through injustice and inspired generations. You carry that same frequency. You don't need to become stronger. You just need to remember your strength. And when you do, you'll stop reacting to life like a victim and start directing it like the vessel of divine fire you are. You'll stop asking for permission and start moving in conviction. Your power doesn't come from ego. It flows from connection, divine, unshakable, eternal connection. You've been hidden for a holy reason, chosen one. This wasn't exile, it was incubation. God placed you in a spiritual cocoon, not as punishment, but as divine protection and preparation. While the world overlooked you, while your name wasn't trending, while your gifts sat unseen, heaven was busy reshaping the architecture of your soul. In secret, your character was fortified. In silence, your vision sharpened. The old version of you, the one who doubted, deferred, and dimmed down, couldn't come with you into the next chapter. That's why the cocoon had to hold you. But now the sacred whisper from heaven has reached your spirit. It's time. You've outgrown your shell. The pressure you're feeling is not an obstacle, it's a contraction. The final push before emergence. Can you feel the stretch? That's your wings expanding. Butterflies don't crawl back into cocoons, and neither will you. You weren't made to stay hidden. You weren't molded in the dark just to fade into the background. You are meant to soar. Everything has shifted. Your mindset, your spiritual frequency, your emotional depth. What used to rattle you now refines you. What used to confuse you now clarifies you. The world needs what you've become, and more than that, it's ready for it. Isaiah 49:2 says, "He made me into a polished arrow and concealed me in his quiver." You weren't denied, you were reserved, and now heaven is releasing you. Emergence is risky. Yes, it requires vulnerability. It means stepping out, being seen, being heard. But it also means freedom, flight, legacy. Don't let the fear of exposure rob you of the power of expansion. You've already paid the price in silence. That discomfort you're in right now, it's the edge of breakthrough. Step forward, speak boldly, shine relentlessly. The cocoon season is over. You are no longer a work in progress. You are a completed testimony in motion. It's time to live like it. Think about someone like Brené Brown. For years, she researched vulnerability and silence, hidden from public view. But when she finally stepped out and spoke her truth, the world didn't just listen, it shifted. Vulnerability became strength. Transparency became healing. She didn't echo what others were saying. She brought her own frequency, and you are about to do the same. Why? Because God didn't just give you a voice to speak. He gave you a frequency to shake atmospheres. Your words aren't ordinary. They carry weight. They carry transmission. Your story is sacred. Your testimony is transformation, and the enemy knows this. That's why he tried so hard to keep you quiet. But no more whispering your worth. No more tucking away your truth. No more shrinking behind false humility. You have survived too much to play small. God is calling you to roar, not from pride, but from alignment. When you speak from your spirit, shackles break, not just for you, but for everyone in earshot. Your voice is not noise, it's medicine. Your story is not just personal, it's prophetic. Jeremiah 1:9 says, "Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth, and now that time has come. You've stayed silent long enough." You weren't just created to blend in. You were born to broadcast something sacred. So clear your throat, lift your head, and speak. Not to be accepted, but to activate. Not everyone will agree. Not everyone will understand, but heaven will recognize its own. The divine realm doesn't reward conformity. It responds to authenticity. The world doesn't need another echo. It's starving for your frequency, the vibration that only you can release. Take Maya Angelou again. Silenced by trauma as a child, she spent years without a voice. But once she began to speak, her words became swords that cut through systems, strongholds, and suffering. She didn't just inspire, she liberated, and your voice too carries that same potential. When you speak from fire and love, when you stand in truth without apology, lives will change, starting with yours. Chains will break, atmospheres will shift. The ripple effect begins with your yes to your own voice. You are not a threat because of your ego. You are a threat because of your essence. Your silence wasn't weakness, it was sacred gestation. Every setback trained you. Every delay refined you. Every closed door rerouted you toward divine strategy. The enemy has tried to dim your light, confuse your focus, and drain your hope. Why? Because he knows what you sometimes forget. You are dangerous to darkness. You don't walk into rooms empty. You enter carrying divine frequencies. Ephesians 6:10 reminds us, "Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power." You are not empty-handed. You are spiritually armed. So remember this. You don't need to fight for power. You already have it. You carry light in your bones, vision in your breath, and truth in your voice. Your presence causes tremors, not because of how you look, but because of what you emit. You are heaven's technology, walking on earth. You are coded with breakthrough. You were hidden for a season, yes, but now you are loaded for impact. This isn't the season to go silent. This is the moment to be seen. Heaven didn't forge you for invisibility. It prepared you for visibility with weight. Protection, chosen one, doesn't mean the absence of battles. it means preservation through them. You may still walk through fire, but you won't be consumed. You may still face giants, but you won't fall. Why? Because you are surrounded by heaven's shield, and your mission is too vital, too sacred, too heaven-backed to fail. Stop carrying yourself like a wounded target. Start standing like a divine threat. You weren't chosen to live in defense. You were called to advance. When you walk in your God-given identity, no weapon, no whisper, no storm can undo what heaven has decreed over your life. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, not one." And when you believe that, your posture shifts. You stop flinching. You start moving with fire. You thought things were collapsing because you messed up. But the truth is, God let certain structures fall not because of failure, but because of foundation. That job, that relationship, that version of you that you were gripping so tightly, it wasn't built on truth. It was built on survival. And survival isn't the same as destiny. God loves you far too much to let you keep building on shaky ground. So yes, he let it crumble. And yes, it hurt. But when the dust clears, you'll see that what he was destroying wasn't you. It was everything blocking you. Sometimes divine love looks like a demolition. Sometimes the greatest form of mercy is a collapse. Because only when the illusion shatters can you finally see what's real. Look at someone like Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks. Before transforming the coffee industry, he walked away from comfort, took risks, and faced brutal resistance. He was rejected over 200 times when trying to raise funding. But the failed pitches weren't failures, they were reroutes. And because he didn't settle, he created something global. Just like Schultz, your setbacks weren't wasted, they were divine pivots. What you thought was God saying no was actually God saying, that's not your truth. The pain you've carried, it's valid. The disappointment, sharp, even disorienting. But what God is constructing now is based on your true self, not the version molded by trauma, fear, or expectations. This time, you don't have to pretend. This time there will be no contortion, no betrayal of your inner voice, no sacrificing your peace just to keep something alive. What's coming next will feel like home in your soul. You won't have to chase it, force it, or beg for it. You'll just know it's right. So let it all fall. Let the rubble rest. Don't look back to what broke you and call it stability. God isn't asking you to rebuild old ruins. He's calling you to rise from them. Psalm 18:19 says, "He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me." That's what this season is about. Not starting over, not piecing back together fragments, but stepping into space, into freedom, clarity, and purpose. What broke you was never meant to hold you. What wounded you wasn't worthy of your future. And now God is writing a different blueprint, one anchored in your authentic power, wisdom, and identity. You might be in the in-between right now. It may feel like wandering, like being stuck in the fog of not knowing. But don't confuse disorientation with being lost. You are not lost. You are being rerouted. Heaven's GPS is working overtime. What feels like delay is actually divine protection. God is blocking paths that would have drained you dry, stolen your spark, or locked you into cycles of silent self-betrayal. And you can't see it now, but every no, every closed door, every exit you didn't choose is saving your life in ways you'll one day thank him for. Think of someone like Steve Jobs, fired from his own company, lost in uncertainty, forgotten by the very system he helped build. But that exile became innovation. That rejection became resurrection. Because the wilderness isn't where purpose dies, it's where it refines. You are not being punished, chosen one. You are being positioned. God is recalculating your route in real time to steer you away from counterfeit blessings and into the authenticity of your assignment. Proverbs 3:6 promises, "In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." That's what he's doing right now, clearing the fake paths, realigning your steps, and preparing a way that leads not just to success, but to significance. The detours aren't delays, they're divine GPS adjustments. He's keeping you from partnerships that would have diluted your power, platforms that would have silenced your truth, and paths that would have fed your ego but starved your soul. This is not punishment, this is preservation. And yes, it feels intense. The deeper your calling, the sharper the redirection, because a shallow assignment doesn't need this kind of surgery, but a kingdom calling, that requires pruning, pressure, and precision. You are not forgotten, you're being fortified. And that silence you've been hearing, it's not rejection, it's the sound of heaven rearranging the battlefield to make sure you win. So take a breath. Let go of the illusion that you have to make sense of it all right now. Your job isn't to understand every turn, it's to trust the hand that's guiding it. The same hand that tore down your false foundation is now lifting you into a higher one. And what's being built on this new ground? A life you don't have to recover from, a purpose that doesn't require pretending, a rhythm that moves in step with heaven. Chosen one, you've spent enough time in what drained you. Now it's time to rise into what defines you. You were never meant to settle for survival. You were created for divine significance. And no matter how shaky the journey feels, no matter how loud the uncertainty gets, know this: heaven has not lost track of you. You're not forgotten. You're just being perfectly placed. Beloved, chosen one, you are far too important to be misplaced, forgotten, or overlooked. Every rejection was really a redirection. Every pause, every delay, every reroute, none of it was wasted. It was all precision. Divine timing is not random, it's prophetic. God has been navigating you with supernatural accuracy, down to the very breath in your body and the people crossing your path. What you thought you lost was never meant to carry you forward, and what you thought you missed was only heaven's way of clearing the runway for something better. So rest in this truth. Your steps are ordered, even when your vision feels clouded. This season is not about speed, it's about spiritual accuracy. You are not meant to arrive just anywhere. You are meant to arrive in destiny, not desperation. And when you finally land in that place God prepared for you, where your spirit breathes freely and your soul feels safe, everything that confused you will suddenly make perfect, holy sense. You've been praying for change, asking heaven to shift the storm around you. But what if the shift was never supposed to come from outside? What if heaven has been waiting for you to realize that you are the miracle? That the breakthrough isn't something you're waiting on, it's something rising from within you. You are the answered prayer in motion. You are the light sent into this timeline to disrupt darkness. You are the one your bloodline cried out for. And now is your moment to walk in it. Not as a beggar, not as a copy, but as a vessel, fully awakened, fully aligned, and finally seen by yourself the way heaven has always seen you. Thank you truly for staying with me through this word. Whether you listened quietly or felt every word shake something inside you, I honor your hunger for truth, healing, and purpose. Your presence here is not taken lightly. I'm so deeply grateful for your spirit, your openness, and your courage to keep going. If this message resonated with you and you feel led to support this work, you can do so through the Super Thanks feature right here on this video. But know this, whether you give or not, you are seen, valued, and so appreciated. Your engagement, your prayers, your presence, that alone is a gift. Your support in any form helps keep this mission alive, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. As you step away from this message, I pray that God covers you with clarity, floods you with favor, and surrounds you with peace that passes all understanding. May every unanswered question begin to unfold with divine timing. May every dry place in your life be met with overflow. May your mind be strengthened, your spirit be refreshed, and your next step be directed by the one who wrote your story. You are not behind, you are not broken. You are chosen, becoming, and rising into everything God already declared over you. So lift your head. The best is not behind you. The shift has already begun. You are the miracle, you are the moment, and your destiny is unfolding right on time.